Up Taiwan, I'm Laurel Stewart with the news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Defense analysts in Taiwan are flagging the discovery of what appears to be a Chinese weather buoy in waters near one of Taiwan's outlying islands. Local fishers found the object on the same day China held large-scale military drills around Taiwan, raising national security concerns. Wesley Lewis tells us more.
A weather buoy, with the words Fujian Marine Meteorological Buoy Strait Number 3 written in simplified Chinese characters. The object is suspected to be from China and was found floating some 50 nautical miles southwest of Taiwan's Xiaoliuqiu Island. Local Taiwanese fishers found the object earlier this week, saying it posed a safety risk. The Fishers Association alerted the Coast Guard, who then sent a ship to investigate the buoy.
渔民舰持续于现场观察该浮标是否锚定，及扩大搜寻是否有类似浮标，并将相关资料通报有关单位进行联系。
The buoy was discovered while China conducted military exercises around Taiwan earlier this week. Although the object was found outside the range of the drills, defense analysts say it raises national security concerns.
多多少少可能会视为是对我们海洋主权的一种侵犯，特别是海军来说，那这个了解海洋的气象其实非常非常重要，所以你不能排除它可能是会用在其他这些，也许军事或者是其他的这种用途也说不定。
This is not the first time something like this has happened. Earlier this year, a buoy connected to a Chinese satellite was found on a beach in Penghu, another Taiwanese outlying island in waters between Taiwan and China. Defense analysts have advised the government to stay alert and monitor China's weather detection activities around Taiwan, and to take necessary measures to protect the country's security. Luffy Lee and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
New Taipei prosecutors have charged a local councilor with corruption and released him on bail of over $90,000. Independent Yunlin County Councillor Huang Kai allegedly set up a shell company to accept bribes in exchange for helping an electrical company get licensed for a solar plant. 8 other people have been charged with corruption in this case. Huang, now on bail, has appealed to the court for a shorter sentence and awaits trial. US presidential candidate Donald Trump says China would face serious tariffs if it invaded Taiwan under his presidency. He made the comments during an interview with the Wall Street Journal, emphasizing his strong relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping. He said a military confrontation over Taiwan would not be necessary as Xi, quote, respects him and knows he is crazy. China's threats to take Taiwan have increased since Trump was in office and continued under his successor, Joe Biden. Russian President Vladimir Putin says US efforts to constrain China's economic growth have failed.
Соединенные Штаты опоздали лет на 15. Они не смогут остановить развитие Китая. Это невозможно сделать, даже как вот невозможно сказать солнцу, не вставай.
Speaking ahead of next week's BRICS summit, Putin called US sanctions against Russia and China politically motivated. Leaders of the BRICS countries are set to gather in Russia's Kazan on Tuesday for the group's 16th annual summit. BRICS, originally founded by China, India, Brazil, Russia and South Africa, is now looking to expand, with over 30 countries interested in joining. South Korea has published evidence that shows North Korean troops may soon be fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine. The revelation comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said North Korea was preparing to send 10,000 troops to the Ukraine front. To learn more, our reporter Adil Bra spoke to Stephen Nagy at the International Christian University in Tokyo.
South Korea has shared details about North Korea sending troops to fight alongside Russia in Ukraine. What evidence has South Korea shared, and what does it tell us?
So what we've seen is the South Korean government has released some evidence suggesting through satellite photos that there's North Korean troops that have been transported to Russian bases, that they have been provided fake ID indicating that they are actually residents of Siberia rather than North Korean citizens. and that they've been outfitted with Russian uniforms as they are being presented to fight Ukrainians in Ukrainian territory. There's probably more evidence that we need to find, but the South Korean satellite imagery does provide some strong evidence that, again, North Korean soldiers are actually fighting with Russians in the Ukraine front.
How far will North Korea go with its support for Russia's war in Ukraine?
Well, we've already seen the North Koreans provide 5 million munitions through a defense agreement with Vladimir Putin after his visit to Pyongyang. We're likely to see a continuation of military assistance to Russia as the conflict continues with Ukraine. And I think that this will continue unabated. An interesting question for us is to think about why they're doing this. And it's my belief that it's not only to secure Russian support for North Korea's security, but it's a way to force or compel China to relax some sanctions against North Korea so that China doesn't feel that Russia is closer to the North Koreans than China.
How will US and its allies deter North Korea's support for Russia?
We're likely to see coordinated efforts by the South Koreans, perhaps the Japanese, the United States, to try and close the sanction loopholes, to send a joint diplomatic warning to North Korea that if they continue to assist Russia in the illegal war against Ukraine, that they'll further strengthen the sanctions against North Korea. We're also like to see partners such as Canada and others that are active in sanction evasion exercises in the Sea of Japan to tighten those loopholes to make it more difficult for North Korea to get access to not only military technology and other technology, but luxury goods, food, and energy resources that keep the North Korean regime alive.
That was Stephen Nagy in Tokyo. Tokyo police have arrested a man after he threw suspected Molotov cocktails at the ruling party's headquarters. The 49-year-old suspect threw around 5 objects towards the Liberal Democratic Party's headquarters, setting fires that were quickly extinguished. He then rammed his car into a fence at the Prime Minister's residence. Police contained him as he tried to throw a suspected smoke bomb into the compound. No injuries have been reported. The incident comes just over a week before the country's general elections. Police are still investigating the attacker's motive. World leaders have called the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar a turning point in the Israel-Hamas war. On the ground, his death has brought sadness, hope, and has become a rallying cry for supporters. Laurel Hughes reports.
Allahu Akbar.
Across Gaza, people gather in prayer for the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. He was killed by an Israeli tank while fighting on the front lines. His last moments, captured by an Israeli drone, show him wounded, but still fighting. For Gazans, his death has become a symbol of resistance and hope for an end to Israel's deadly assault on Gaza.
وبكل الأحوال الله يرحمه مات مناضل مات شهيد شريف على عكس ما كانوا يحكوا العملاء بني صهيون كانوا يقولوا إنه متخبي تحت الأنفاق متخبي إنه بين الناس أيوه كان مستشهد وهو بيقاتل فيهم.
الفاضل بتوقع إنه بعد اغتيال يحيى السنوار إنه لازم الحرب هذه توقف. هذا حرب إبادة كان من أهداف نتنياهو قتل يحيى السنوار أو اغتياله. ما ضلش بعد هيك أهداف.
Meanwhile, in Israel, the announcement of Sinwar's death brought celebrations for some and fear for others over the fate of the remaining hostages in Gaza.
הוביל לסוף של המלחמה, יחזיר את החטופים, ושנזכה באמת לימים יותר שקטים. אני חושב שכולם פה צריכים את זה.
אני אגיד לך את האמת, אני בעיקר חשבתי על החטופים, ואם זה יעזור בלקדם איזושהי עסקה, אם יהיה עכשיו דרך להחזיר אותם, או שלהפך, אם זה מרחיק את העניין.
Sinwar's death is considered Israel's biggest victory so far, taking down the mastermind behind Hamas's October 7th attacks in Israel last year. It's also been called a turning point by world leaders as they push for a ceasefire deal and an end to the war. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made it clear the war is not over. And across the region, Sinwar's death is being protested and mourned. His face, now a symbol of martyred resistance and solidarity with Gaza and Lebanon. Scott Huang and Laurel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Sydney Opera House has lit up with images to welcome Monarch King Charles and Queen Camilla to Australia. The royal couple were greeted at the airport by Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. King Charles's visit to the Commonwealth country is the first from a reigning British monarch in 13 years. While many Australians were excited about his arrival, others were less enthused.
Oh, I'm waiting for us to be a republic.
I'd like us to be a republic as well.
So
nothing against King Charles.
Yeah, I'm happy for him to come as King of England, but I'd rather he doesn't come as King of Australia.
Yes, I think that's the go.
Yeah, I think so.
King Charles and Queen Camilla will visit Australia for 6 days, then travel to Samoa for a meeting with heads of Commonwealth countries. A man honoured as one of Taiwan's national living treasures has begun a new chapter in his life. Yen Chen-fa made his name in the dying art of painting movie posters by hand, but now he's turning out his own original works. Sandy Chi has the story.
An iconic scene, hand-painted movie billboards at a cinema in southern Taiwan's Tainan. The artist who painted them, Yen Chen-fa, was considered the last of his kind, a master of a dying art form. Now he's officially put away his paintbrushes for the Treme Theatre due to disagreements with one of the owners. But for 50 years, Yen painted over 1,000 posters for films screened at the cinema, and for that, he was recognized as a national living treasure. Now he's embarking on a new artistic journey. Instead of bringing cinema posters to life with acrylic paint, Yen is creating more original work of his own. He's now working more with oils, a big departure from the movie posters with which he made his name.
它的色彩比较硬，比较干硬。现在那个油画就比较软，软它就要泡2、3次以上才会好看呢。油画是那越多次越好看呢。
While Yen is embarking on a new artistic phase in later life, it's a bittersweet feeling for the locals who watched him paint movie posters down the years.
这个好像有看过，这个大稻埕有。哦，这个有啊，这个那个时候好像上映蛮久的，因为也是李安的作品嘛。对啊，其实就是我也是从小就待在这里了嘛，就是没事走来走去都会看到他在这里画，现在看不到，确实是就是有点不习惯啊，有点遗憾。
In October, 20 of Yen's original oil paintings went on display at a gallery in Tainan, his first solo exhibition since leaving the theatre. Among the works on display, one in particular caught the eye of a fan who was visiting from Taipei.
我喜欢老师的设画像，因为我觉得就是因为人对自己都有一种就是包装，所以要画出自己，然后又很像的感觉很困难。
全部那个都灌在他那张图里面哦，那50年的差不多全部的都在那张图里面。
Now aged 71, and after decades of work that has taken a toll on his eyes, Yen faces the common ailments of getting older. But that does not stop him from doing what he loves.
做什么事都要坚持啊，一生都要坚持。都要画到眼睛看不见为止啊，眼睛看不见为止啊。
Yen Zhenfa made his name through the movies. Now his artistic career and his life have entered their third act. Time enough for a last creative outpouring, a Hollywood ending. Klein Wong and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, have a look at these giant Katrinas in Mexico as the country prepares for the Day of the Dead. I'm Laurel Stewart. Take care and see you next time.